Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered what items are best to sell on the flea market versus the vendor? Then this guide is for you. I've put together a list of what items I think are easiest to make a solid profit on. But first,
Capital One and Upstream have partnered with us to do this awesome giveaway for our community. To enter, click the link in the description and install the Capital One shopping browser add-on. It's a simple browser extension that works when you're shopping online, places like Amazon, Best Buy, Target, etc. Thousands of websites to help you save money. 3 clicks into your email and you're in. Did I mention there's these awesome prizes? The link's down below in the description. The criteria that I use to decide whether or not to pick up, vendor, or flea market an item is based on a per slot value. 7,000 or more rubles per slot is the lowest I'll go when picking up an item. For larger items, I want more than 7,000 a slot. 10,000 or more rubles per slot is the lowest I'll go when looking to flea market an item in mass, ideally around 10 or more items at once when posted. To flea market a single item, I'll look for around 20,000 or more rubles in profit over selling to a vendor. But that's not as strict because you build a higher rep the more you sell on the flea market, which will allow you to sell more than just 2 slots after a bit. A hand drill that is 6 slots only vendors for 38,000 and flea markets for the same. That's around 6,300 rubles per slot. Not worth. An ASA vendors for 104,000 and flea markets for the same. It's 25,000 per slot, but doesn't bring more on the flea market than it does the vendor. So go ahead and vendor it. A military cable vendors for 26,000, but flea markets for 50,000. That's 25,000 per slot and brings in around 25,000 more on the flea market than the vendor. So go ahead and flea market it. RAM, which is left behind oh so often, vendors for almost 7K. Flea markets for over 10,000. If I had only a few or less, I'd vendor them. If I had a lot, I'd flea market them. Regardless, I'm picking them up. Now let's quickly cover which vendors you should look to sell to. Therapist will buy rare items, medical supplies, food, water, and cases. Peacekeeper for information items. You can click the tabs on the left for easier sorting, but I would only sell non-found in raid folder of intels. Mechanic takes weapons and weapon attachments, minus shotguns and snipers, which can go to Jaeger. Jaeger will also buy melees and medical supplies for top dollar. You can sell your clothing and armor to Ragman, and then anything that is too broken to sell to the other vendors, Vince will buy it, although at a discounted rate. Since you will be selling a lot of smaller items in mass, it's ideal to have around 4 or more Lucky Scab junk boxes to store everything. Finally, we are to the list of items that I look to vendor, minus a group that I'll touch on in a minute. Kinda crazy that it doesn't really seem like all that many items after looking at it. But when you have multiple of each item, and you aren't entirely sure on what to vendor versus flea market, it can be rather intimidating. And here's the list of the items I will typically look to flea market, minus that group that I just mentioned, which is what I like to refer to as the cheat sheet group. These are the groups that have so many items in them that it makes it difficult to remember their worth. So for a general rule of thumb, for weapon attachments, I'll look to pick up the suppressors and the scopes. Almost any item with a purple background is worth picking up. And then most keys will be worth picking up as well, especially if you have the extra space in a SICK or a documents case. Last but not least are the quest and hideout upgrade items. You don't want to accidentally sell a quest item that you could potentially need soon. The best way to track that is through tarkovtracker.io. This is an extremely handy website for newcomers and veterans alike. It helps you keep track of what items you will still need for both the quest line and the hideout upgrades. And you can see how far away they are too. The link will be down below in the description.
that does it for my guide over what items are best to sell to the vendors versus the flea market. I hope it helped. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Until next time, guys, peace out.